Why are there climate change deniers? Why do we keep buying clothes that are disposable, not particularly well made, and buying food that's made from unsustainable produce? Why are we not more careful with our plastic waste? I really think it's because we don't necessarily see the consequences. We don't directly see the consequences. And with climate change deniers, in their defense, I think it's because there are so many mixed messages out there, leaving people unsure how they should behave. What really is the issue? Climate change is a natural phenomenon, but the fact that it has been accelerated by human behavior and greenhouse emissions cannot be denied. All scientists will back this up. Yet some people continue to deny it. And there are people, for example, presidents, that will also encourage people to believe that this is not really a thing and we don't need to worry about it. I am here today to give you my idea of the environmental warriors, which is to try and get to the bottom of this issue and to try and stop this from proliferating into a thing that, well, in future generations anyhow, it already is a thing. But let's work with the children, and that's what I'm aiming to do, is to work with the children and get them in touch with each other, get them learning about each other, about their own natural environment, and caring about one another. Because I think that's really how change will happen. And the children of today are the politicians of the future. They're the teachers of the future, the street cleaners of the future. So the more they know, the more they care, the more difference is really going to be noticed. So I want to share my idea of the environmental warriors, which is part of my organization, STEM Ginger Education. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and maths, which is fundamental in education. So I think it's great to bring this in and to make all children aware of their ability to play a part in STEM matters and learn about the natural world. So primarily I want to talk about the environmental warriors. So let me show you some of the projects and the tasks that I write and deliver with the environmental warriors. And I'd also like to show you some submissions that have been given in by different children around the world, just to make it apparent, make it clear how these projects are accessible to children from all different backgrounds, in all different situations, with different resources, different availabilities, different of instruction, as well as their own capabilities. It might be due to age or physical or mental challenges. I want this to be available to everybody, accessible to all children. So here is an example of the environmental warriors with STEM Ginger Education. And this is on the website, stemgingereducation.com. STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths. Ginger, because it tastes nice. And education, because this is what it's all about. And the mantra for STEM Ginger Education is education, communication, illumination. I really think with education, communication, and collaboration, I think I should include in this list, will lead to illumination and change. So on the webpage, if we go to the environmental warriors, we find that there's task A, the earth warrior, task B, fire warrior, task C, the air warrior. Each task, or air warrior, fire warrior, earth warrior, requires different amounts of input and output, making them doable to children from all different settings, all different capabilities. So for example, this is the September project that was running, The Power of Plastic, looking at its uses and effect on the environment. And on the website, you can download the activity, you can talk about it with other children, and this is the language of communication is English. And then finally, you can upload your project, and there's a winning environmental warrior or winning earth warrior, fire warrior, air warrior of the month. It's very exciting. So this is an example of the Air Warrior project that was running in September of this year. And the name of the project is The Power of Plastic. The children for this project for this task, had to find an animal interacting with plastic and think about why the plastic was there. Why is the animal interacting with it? This is an example that was handed in by Sophie, and she is Catalan Nepalese, and she is 6 and she cannot write yet. So you can see that she drew a picture of an octopus with plastic. Perhaps she was inspired by something she'd seen in a cartoon or something on the internet. And she drew this picture of the octopus with plastic. She explained to her dad what the problem was with the octopus and plastic. And her dad asked her how the plastic got there. So Sophie, 6 years old, she's already thinking, hang on a minute, why is there plastic in the ocean? Why is the octopus interacting with the plastic? Does it want to? Is it helping it? So she's already thinking about these things and thinking about who's to blame, for want of a better word, for the reason why the plastic is there. Then this one was handed in by Sarah, and she is 10 and she lives in the jungle in Colombia. Internet access was only introduced 2 years ago. So you can see that because she has very little internet access, her auntie wrote this down, and Sarah drew pictures and wrote sentences in English evaluating the situation. She chose to draw a goldfish in a plastic bag, which maybe was won at a fair or something, but she was thinking about the fact that this is her interpretation of an animal and plastic, but she's thinking about the fact that no, the fish is not in its natural environment. It's not the place that it would choose to be and the place it would thrive. So you can see, even without much internet access, the task was still completely doable. And then her auntie took photographs of Sarah's work and sent it back to STEM Ginger Education using CAM Scanner. Okay, the next project is the Fire Warrior. And in this project, for the Power of Plastic, the task was to interview people and find out who is using all this plastic and why they are using it. And this is what Morgan, my nephew, who is 11 and lives in England, came up with. I think it's wonderful. I'm slightly biased, but I do think it's wonderful. So this is Morgan's plastic questionnaire. Morgan used MS Forms to write and send out a questionnaire and to generate graphs. So we all, my mum, my dad, me, my brother, my sister, we all received a WhatsApp message, and we had to answer the questions, and these were automatically generated into these graphs that then Morgan interpreted. And on the right hand side, you can see he's drawn his own conclusions. So this is an 11-year-old who's using so many skills already of hypothesizing, interpreting, concluding, and presentation, of course, as well. So many skills can be accessed using the Environmental Warrior project. So that's the Fire Warrior, and then we have the Air Warrior. And the Air Warrior is a more involved task, should we say. It requires more input from the teacher or the educator, and also from the children. So perhaps this could be more suitable for older children or for a longer term project. And this one is looking at plastic waste in Nepal and how plastic can be turned into profit. So there's a PowerPoint with it, with the whole project, which is developed by an NGO. And the children they look at the story behind the plastic, they look at why plastic is not biodegradable like foods, and they compare different countries, different products, and then they come up with a solution for all this plastic waste. So the Air Warrior project or task is I find something from an NGO, from a charity, from the World Wildlife Fund, from the United Nations Sustainable Goals, and I develop a project, an activity, a task that requires much more thinking than the previous two tasks. But they're all under the same umbrella theme. So this is the idea of the environmental warriors, to get children in different countries doing these activities in parallel and looking at each other's results, asking each other questions in the forum on the webpage in English, just to make it inclusive and to make sure that everybody can get involved. And I really think that the more we get the young people thinking about the environmental catastrophe that is being created around us, the more likely we're going to see lasting change. We're going to see effective changes. And these people are the future, as I said, the future politicians, the future teachers. They're going to make the real difference. So let's get everybody talking about the environment. Let's start with the little people, with the environmental warriors.